Good morning, afternoon, or whenever you're watching this, friends. I'm about to start some broccoli cheddar soup. I've been wanting some for a while. We've got some broccoli in the refrigerator, and let me make sure we got broccoli in the refrigerator. Yes, okay. So I have been seeing the broccoli every time I open the fridge, and I was like, you know what, that would make some really good soup. So that's what we're going to do. I did not have a Velveeta, which is the typical route for broccoli cheddar soup, and I was like, I know that people make it without Velveeta. Some people don't like Velveeta. I don't know who those people are, but some people don't like Velveeta, so I know there has to be a recipe where you don't use it. And we found one. Super simple to find one, by the way. This is a it says simple recipes for every day. It says it takes 15 minutes to prep it, 35 minutes to cook it, so it's a fast process. But I wanted to go ahead and get it done, and then we can just heat it up later. I'm trying to decide if I want to do some chicken on the side or some rolls maybe, because I think bread just goes perfectly with soup, especially broccoli cheddar soup. Or if I want to, I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But I wanted to go ahead and get the soup done. That way, I actually thought it'd take longer than that. I didn't look at the cook time or the prep time. And I wanted to just have it done and not be spending a whole bunch of time trying to do it later whenever everybody's hungry and ready to go, you know? But yeah, it's a super simple recipe, and it uses simple ingredients, which is my favorite. It uses butter, onion, carrot, garlic, flour, salt, mustard powder, and nutmeg, which we are not doing because that sounds disgusting, personally. Whole milk, chicken or vegetable stock, broccoli, and Parmesan cheese. So, we're going to do it. Oh, and it says 8 ounces is cheddar. I was like, you know I'm going to do some cheddar, but you add that too. And that's about it. Salt and pepper to taste. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and gather my ingredients, and then I'll bring you back and share the recipe with you. I will link it down below. I really love the way that it printed it as well. It's just so simple and, you know, dumbed down, because I don't like it big fancy things. Granted, the website I found it so you had to scroll forever, you know how they typically can be. But when I clicked print, which actually I clicked print to look at the recipe because it was just so much going on the blog post, this was perfect. 10 out of 10. So we're going to go ahead and gather our ingredients, and then we're going to get started on it. In the food processor, because so you need to immersion blend or put it in a blender afterwards to get it nice and smooth. So I figured I would just do this instead of grating the vegetables, because why not? And then here into our pot, we're going to put 4 tablespoons of butter. Got to do my garlic. I'm going to go ahead and just stick it in here. Just mix it up a little bit more. Get down a little bit. Smells like Thanksgiving. So I got my bag of broccoli out here. I wanted to be able to look at all of it and make sure there wasn't no yucky stuff in it. And then all the pieces that are huge like this, we're going to go ahead and chop up here. I could not find my ground mustard. I know I got some, but I ain't worried about it. It's fine. But I'm going to add a little bit of turmeric just for the added health benefits of it. And just it'll give it more of the cheesy color, you know? And then we need 1/4 cup of flour. And then we're going to make this into a paste, I think. Let me make sure. And then you're going to let this go for about 5 minutes. I want it to thicken up a little bit, is what we're going for. Okay, now it says to remove it from the heat. Give it a little stir. Yes, this is nice and thick. Now we're going to add our stock. Since I'm not using my immersion blender, I didn't feel like digging it out, and I used the food processor to do the vegetables and cheese. We're gonna go ahead and just stick it in there and give it a little blend. I just hope it's not too much. I might have to do it half and half. Now we're going to put it back in the pot. Is that what it said? Is that right? I think we might have more than that, and I'm okay with adding more if I'm, that's fine too. But I don't want to overdo it for the amount of liquid either. Which this might be 4 cups. I'm thinking it's more. Now we're supposed to let this cook on medium-low, I think, for about 20 minutes to give that broccoli a good tenderize the broccoli. I was getting distracted. It looks delicious. I actually have it too low, I think. Turned it to 3. If I had it on 1, I didn't want it just over there blazing hot without anything on it. Actually, I tasted it, and it's a little salty. I don't know if it's because of the bouillon or that I used my blue salt, but I went ahead and add 1 more cup. Maybe that'll help cut down on the salt. I'm always like tasting stuff and being like, that's too salty, and John and the kids will be like, no, it's not. So it could just be me, but I did go ahead and add an extra cup of milk to it. Cooked down a lot, as you can see. It'll be very hot. I want to give it a little taste test. Yeah, it tastes good. Obviously, it needs cheese because it's just has like a roux, a gravy taste almost. So we're gonna add our shredded cheddar, as well as our half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now I only had the jar Parmesan cheese, but that's fine. That's really good. I don't think in this recipe you're supposed to, but in a lot of recipes you're supposed to grind up the broccoli. But I wanted big chunks. That's what I wanted, was big chunks of broccoli. It'll always kind of lose a little bit of it, as you seen when I was putting it in there. You know, some of the little whatever's on the pieces of the florets will break off. But I wanted it to be a nice, chunky broccoli soup. We also have Hawaiian sweet rolls in the cabinet that I seen up there just a minute ago when I was putting the stuff up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do those. So we're going to do that with hamburger steak on the side, whoever wants one, because John will have to have some sort of protein or he will boycott. Not really. He doesn't like fully complain, but he enjoys a good meat with his meal. And we know that. So we're going to have hamburger steaks on the side. The kids will need the protein too. I mean, this has protein in it, but it's not the same, you know? And then Lily won't eat hamburger steak or this broccoli soup, but she will eat. I don't think Nolan will eat this either. He's not a soup person. We're going to do rolls, hamburger steak, soup, and chicken wings. That's what I'm trying to say. So we have a little bit of something for everybody. Okay, somebody's going to have something for dinner. I don't always do that. Like sometimes I will just quickly throw the kid that won't eat the meal something in the air fryer or throw them something together. But sometimes they got to do it on their own. But I don't care to throw them something in the air fryer or cook them something separate. I mean, I'm not going to make them a whole full course meal. And then there's some nights when I'm making something, if somebody has a bad attitude about it, I'll be like, well, you're on your own. Okay? The bad attitude instantly gets me going the extra step to make them a meal out the window. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be rude about it. Especially, you know, if they know how we work. Right? If I'm making something and they don't want it, they can ask for something else. And if it's simple, I'll make it. I'm not making them a whole full-blown meal. Because if they want a whole different meal, we'll just have that tomorrow night and everybody can enjoy it. But I will just throw them something quick together. I don't like to be forced to eat things I don't want to eat. I'm not going to make my kids. And I know that some people, they're not like that. And, you know, I was raised in the eat it or starve mentality. Or you're going to eat it mentality. And I just don't do that with my kids. I don't do that with myself. And so it doesn't seem right to do that with my children. Do I want them to try things? Absolutely. Do I make them try things? Absolutely. But forcing them does not help. We tried it a couple of times just because there was things where I was like, I'm sure that they're going to like this and I just need them to try it to see. And I would force it and it was not worth the fight. Because in the end, they didn't like it. Or at least they wouldn't eat it. Like sometimes I think that they might even just like it. Not my kids necessarily, but sometimes I think people can like something, but if you force it on them, they don't want it. You know? And so I don't do that with my children. I don't do that with myself. Like nobody's going to bring me a plate of food and force me to eat it if it's not something that I don't like. Like if somebody brings me something and it's not my favorite or I've never tried it and it or something just like but they're buying it for me, they're bringing it to me, I'm going to try it. I'm going to at least attempt to eat it. I'm not going to be rude, but I ain't going to sit down and have a whole meal of something I don't like. Eat that. So I'm not going to force my kids to eat something that they don't like if I'm not going to force myself. Does that make sense? I don't know how we ended up here. Probably because every once in a while, it's not often, but every once in a while I get the comments about, you know, you make them eat what you're making. You're better than I am because I wouldn't do that to my kids. They'd eat what I make or not eat. And that's just how I see it and the way that I feel about it. I'm not going to force myself to eat something, so I'm not going to force my kids. Do I force them to try it sometimes? Yes. More so when they was littler. Now that they're older, we kind of, that's not a battle that we pick. Make a meal and then some stuff to satisfy other people. I'm not going to make 2 full meals. No, thank you. But I will make them something else as long as they're not being brats about it. If somebody's going to fuss and, you know, be disrespectful or ungrateful for what I've made, they can make their own food. That's just how we work around here. But anyways, we're going to set this to the back because it's pretty much done now. And then whenever dinner time rolls around, we'll do hamburger steaks, rolls, chicken wings, and then our soup. And I'm excited about the soup. Specifically the soup with the rolls because there's just something good about having a nice bowl of soup and having some crackers or bread of some kind just to eat it with. So, yeah. And the verdict was, this was a crowd pleaser, just like I expected it to be. Wendy actually ate some of it when I was down on the treadmill. She got her a bowl of it because obviously she knew it was done, and ate it before dinner. And then we had some for dinner. Nolan ate it. He's like, Mom, I do like some soups. It's just I'm picky about what soups I like. So he ate a big bowl of this. That was John's with the hamburger steak. And then I ended up adding some of the dill, I think it's dill, I'm going to show you in a minute, some dill croutons that I got from Kroger, and it was so good. I didn't add too many because I did want to eat it with a roll, but y'all, this was so good. I'll have the recipe linked down below. It's super easy, and it uses simple, real ingredients. But thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time. As always, remember to show grace, be content, and live blessed. Bye, friends.